Let me ask you about this project, Dali Transformer Park. What were the initial objectives from the client?
The site is right in the ancient city of Dali. The whole process is totally new experience for pure architects before.
Yes, the client's objective is to trying to build a theater. Also, it's an immersive theater. They're trying to do a cross-disciplinary work. They try to put theatrical display with theater with architecture, with new media technology, new media art. They try to fuse the three together. So in the whole process, it's a cross-interdisciplinary dialogue between the three parties. And the creation is a kind of hybrid of the three.
Would you define this project primarily as adaptive reuse? I understand that you've done many ground up projects, and so this would be, I guess, very unusual for you.
Yeah, it's a kind of adaptive reuse, but after this project, we changed our thought about urban renewal or urban, adaptive reuse. Because in right now in China, in the construction industry, there's many structures, architecture, it's already been done, but there's no program inside and there's no people inside. So it's not only a problem of the architecture and the architecture scale, it's actually a problem of the urban scale. After we do this project, we kind of think about, doing urban design or urban planning or architecture in a way that has, both strategic planning or a kind of a program planning along with architecture design or architecture programming. And we want to kind of create architecture from, the aspect of program, but not only structure or, space itself. Because in China, there's many need for creative program to activate urban life and so forth.
And tell me more about this place, maybe a little bit about the city, the neighborhood, and what were the initial intentions on the side of the client? What is it they wanted? And what did you find there?
Yes, Dali is famous for is tourism. If you go to Dali, it's like you're going to ideal
liberation.
Yes, you release, totally release from like cloudy, city life. So Dali is a name that, like a very dreamy name for young people. And so
it's a heterotopia space for many people.
Yes. If you want to escape from the city, then you go to Dali.
For daily life, you want to escape, you go to Dali.
Especially, it's good. There's a mountain, there's like a lake. The lake on the plateau, on the highland lake is like ancient city of Dali, which is founded like 1,500 years ago. Dali is famous because it's really remote place, like far away from the central power of China. So there's a mist of freedom. If you want to go out and for nature, that's the feeling of Dali. Then our site is located right in the northeast corner of the Asian city. Factory built up around 35 years ago, but it's abandoned for many years.
What kind of factory?
It's a transformer factory. They produce transformer for the whole city.
For electricity transformer.
Electronical transformer.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is why the name of this project is Dali Transformer Park. So transformer refers to the history of the building itself. Okay.
Right. I need to add something. The site location of the project is right next to a very popular market of Dali. It's like a farmer's market, something like that of Dali, and everybody go there. It's so popular. Everybody knows about the market, and we're right next to it. And in history, theater and market is always right next to each other. So I think that's a very interesting historic coincidence and also a very challenging point for us. how would you, it's not no longer a historic context. How would you create a kind of culture, culture venue right next to a very kind of busy street life market? So that's a kind of paradox from the beginning. And the second point is the factory is a transformer factory. So the owner, they have an agent. The agent is like a culture firm. And what they're doing is they're doing theatrical production. So pretty much like our owner is a director of a theater, of a show, of a theatrical show. So what he wants to do is to create some kind of futuristic imagination from the transformer factory. In the future,
It's a number. It's about a number.
2049.
2049.
yeah. And it's about a kind of love story between a machine and a human.
Theater was built like 5 years ago, but at that moment, AI is nothing. AI is nothing.
It's just a
The plot of the theater is really about how AI people, how AI robotic people, have connection with nature people. That was like 5 years ago. Then now we are right in the center of AI age. It's really interesting,
Yeah, it's
At that moment, you start to thinking of, the whole society talking about AI, talking about, what's going on in the future. So, but dramatically, the plot is right in the center of Asian city.
we can consider that as a kind of architecture prophecy or theatrical prophecy of the age of AI.
Yeah, it's interesting that, we are cited beside, aside of market. It's really about spirit, soul and food, soul and body.
It's a metaphysical market.
It's kind of so dramatic, like after the renovation. Before that, it's a factory market, but now it's soul and physical body. It's really like huge compact about the site and also the metaphor.
Oh, the interesting thing is we can ask some existential question in this kind of very metaphysical or physical setting. Because we can see the mountain and the sea, Changshan and Erhai, the sea and the mountain at the same time. And it's like we're very close to nature, but we are also very close to light. And what we are trying to do is to reconstruct the kind of reality and create a kind of surreal reality.
Yes.
With the architecture and, interior and theatrical design. We're trying to create a kind of surreal hypothesis of the past and the future at the same time.
How come, if there was this intention from the beginning to create this theater, this spectacle about the future, how come it was based on an existing building?
There are a lot of brainstorming.
I will give a little background for the project. Okay, the real owner is a kind of a large enterprise of China, large state-owned real estate development. They're like specialize in culture tourism. So they build a kind of many amusement park or like culture tourism of rehabilitation of a kind of historic site and so forth. So in terms of Dali, the dilemma is it was a very tourist-oriented city, but now the content goes down. Like nobody comes back to Dali because they don't have anything new in the kind of tourist mode. So that's the moment when the whole design team came in. I mean, the whole design team, the director, architect, and also media designer, the whole collaborative, cross-disciplinary design.
Also academia.
At this moment, it's like at the dilemma that they don't know where to go. So we're trying to revolutionize the kind of travel, traveling mode of Dali. We're trying to invent a new model with Dali.
Yes.
And that is why we're trying to use an existing factory.
It's not like, we have a program of theater or museum is so clear.
It's
it's right on the table, the program is go here, go to the entry, and go to here, go to there.
Everything needs
But
to be created.
Everything
What-
here is chaotic. But we start to pick it up. Not only like the old existing structure and new program, but also the program, we totally redefine everything from bottom up.
And even the typology of theater, it's no longer a kind of big box typology for theater because we don't have a ground zero site to start from the beginning. We have an existing site with a bunch of buildings. So instead of creating a kind of big box, we create a theatrical district. And we use the,
Yes.
naturally created streets to be a kind of street between the backstage and the front stage. So it's everything.
Yes, yes.
Converting the machine, the mechanic of a theater into a kind of urban setting. We're trying to convert the urban setting into a mechanical of a theatrical theater. So what we're trying to do is actually an urban renewal. So in the theatrical project, it's not only an architecture project, it's an architecture and landscape and urban design project. And what we are trying to do is we design in terms of urban design scale, we decide to devote some of the spaces to be urban, to be an urban theater, open theater. We don't need any actors, just anybody could be the actor, the spectator, and the spectacle. So there are moments in the whole setting that we have different little theaters and we have pathway to connect them together.
And what did you find on site? I understand this was not a single building. There were a number of buildings in different states of use or even abandoned, right? So what was there before you came in? What did you have to work with?
Yeah. They're like a major building right in the center, which is like,
Assembly building.
that's like the shoebox. Very strong structure, very modern.
Octagonal structure.
Yeah, it's like super strong, very strong. But along the perimeter, then there is like very traditional ones, like little temple. Even there's a little temple, like a vernacular temple along it, and then like toys and also storage space. There are so many like all
Space for raising.
assorted places that small buildings around it.
How did you plan to connect this to realities architecturally?
We created and we have a kind of path that actually cut through the building and actually go on top of another roof and jump to another roof and create a little theatrical moment there and connect to another roof. So the whole thing is connected. It's a path that's jumping around different roofs of Dali. And when we cut through the building, we actually decompose and restructure the kind of volumetric, architecture, tectonic for the old building. And as we do that, the interesting thing is we create a kind of double perspective for theatrical show. So it's like a question the architect asked the theater people. They need to create a kind of show that is, in every angle, there is a new reality for the show, for the theatrical reality they're trying to create. So it's always a very challenging dialogue in between the two, architecture and theater. We are trying to create, as I said, we're trying to create a kind of composite reality that's partially before and partially future. We want to be able to get the kind of our familiar experience to the audience and trying to create a feel of thinking for them. They can be inside and project their own reality. That's what we're tracing for.
Yeah.
So I think what we're trying to do, maybe we're not that successful yet, but what we are trying to do is to create a kind of surreal architecture syntax with this project.
Yes.
I think we are trying to be different from any precedent. The reason why we are so passionate about the project is because we have a very good client who work with us and share the same kind of vision. And the whole project is actually a very risk-taking experiment of space, of humanity. It's a non-linear structure. There's many row, there's many
There are
paths.
three lines.
Yeah.
if you buy one ticket, it's like only has experience on one line of the whole show.
So it's an open structure. The theater itself is an open structure. And we have, as an architecture space, we have 4 sectors. So we have a sector that's kind of like a bar setting. And the bar is kind of like, I don't know, a constellation bar. So in a bar, you can have drinks and you can see the show. And that's where the whole show begins.
Yes. For typical theater, a group of people buy the same ticket, and they experience exactly the same show, right? But within here, is random. You only can enjoy 1/3 of the show, which is really, really interesting. And beyond this, there's a whole experience about the ramps. So the ramp is all along going up, climbing up to the roof of the building, and you can experience the nature, the mountain and the ocean, the sea. And also you can climb in the middle stages of the building, like in the shoulder of the building, and you can look out and look down to the market, to the narrow street of the Dali. You have experience of, like a flying experience over the city.
So the whole thing is even the theatrical structure is a revolution. It's no longer a kind of audience back of house, front of house kind of structure. It's an immersive theater, and it actually invites multi activities to be part of the show. You can watch, you can drink, you can dance, you can whatever, be part of it. It's a kind of a hybrid experience.
You did many ground up buildings around the country, and then you came here, and this was, I understand, a very new experience for you, adaptive reuse. What would you say you learned from this project? What opportunities it gave you, and what did you enjoy most about it?
Most importantly is to be on the side and then, listen to the sign. We cannot be isolated from the context, and we need to convert that context into the art that we are thinking about. So after doing this project, like before doing this project, I was trying to create our architecture manifesto from surrealism point of view. But I don't have any mechanism, I don't have any way to get in, and it's very difficult for me. And after this project, like after the theater, theatrical discipline come in, the new media come in, new media art come in, we have more too to create reality. It's not only a physical reality, we can extend a physical reality within the dimension of, new media art, the AR, VR show, and so forth. So it gives us a kind of mechanism to create a surreal reality when we combine all the two together. A theatrical reality, architectural reality, new media reality, and virtual reality, and how do they come together? And you don't always need to be in a physical reality. You could be in between.
Typically, our work is really about iconic, We do a strange architecture. Yeah, we do.
We are bottom up this time.
We do a
the rise
deeper raptor, a very strong architecture out of nowhere. But here we had really start to really respective about the context and
around
the culture and the history. We had to really, really, really contain the ego of architects.
The new type of art is you need to define your media. Your media is no longer the brush or the canvas. It could be the car, the rail you drive by. You need to redefine. In order to create new art, you need to redefine the media for the art. I think that's amazing. It's not only the kind of from the architect themselves, the subject matter for architecture is not only from architect themselves or the program or the objective or the client. It's not only from that. It's also from the existing, the conscious, what's there. And that is the media, the of art that we need to define through architecture. That's let me think. That's like how we are trying to define a way to redo architecture. So we don't want to be in the future. We don't want to be in the past. We want to be in between. We want to be in a space that allow people to think about it, to think about their own identity, to give them their own definition. And we want to grant that freedom to everybody. I think the successful part is like create this kind of, path that's like have you suspending between space and time. You are like right next to the big cloud, and you're like between mountain and sea. You're like in nowhere, and you're like just enjoy freedom. And that's the kind of freedom we define for New Dali.